Okay, we have breaking news this morning. The 5 a.m. advisory is just in.
That's right. We have Julie Durda here in the studio with all the new information you need to know about Hurricane Dorian.
That's right. Good morning, you guys. The 5 a.m. advisory is in. We have a massive, powerful, life-threatening Category 4 hurricane that is spinning over the Atlantic. Hurricane Dorian continues to move towards the west-northwest. Boy, this is a very powerful storm. We are expecting to see this system on that west-northwest path. So let's take a look at that 5 a.m. advisory. The winds are still at 140 miles per hour. The pressure is 948 millibars. It's picked up speed just a bit, moving to the west-northwest at 12 miles per hour. As of the 2 a.m. advisory, it was moving to the west-northwest at 10 miles per hour. It is located 470 miles east of West Palm Beach, Florida. We're using that as the locator so you can kind of grasp how far away it is from our coast. This is the important part, my friends. Come on. I want you to come to your television screen because what we've been talking about is that jog to the north that the models have been implementing the possibility of for the last 12 hours. The forecast cone of uncertainty has now pushed more towards the north. I want you to understand this could change. This is the first model run that we're seeing this occur. This is the first forecast cone of concern that we're seeing now, no longer having central portions of Miami-Dade, southern Miami-Dade, and the Keys highlighted in it. We are still talking about a Category 4 hurricane just off the central portions of our coast by Tuesday morning. So again, bear with me because obviously this just updated, but it looks as though Sunday we're talking about a Category 4 about to approach the northwestern half of the Bahamas. Monday it looks as though it will be right over the northwestern half of the Bahamas of winds of 140 miles per hour. And then taking that north jog just off the coast of Florida with winds of 130 miles per hour just offshore Central Florida, West Palm Beach. And so we do want to keep you in alert that we could still be dealing with the outer bands of this system, which could be tropical storm force winds and some very gusty winds at times, and then also some very heavy rain. Noticing that jog to the north can continue as we go into the middle part of the week, and then eventually this will be a concern for parts of Georgia and into the Carolinas. That is starting to mimic what the GFS model and the European model are hinting. One, the European model has slowed down, and the GFS model has kept the system more offshore. So again, we watch that forecast cone of uncertainty day by day, model by model, and every advisory because there are always changes. So what does that mean for us? Well, we're still dealing with a life-threatening situation for our friends in the northwestern half of the Bahamas. Sea surface temperatures are at 90 degrees around the Gulf Stream. So the system's still going to be very powerful just offshore the coast of Florida. As it heads towards that north jog, there is that possibility it could just hug the coast. There's a possibility it could make landfall. There are still a lot of uncertainties out there in the days to come. But the one thing, the fact is, parts of Miami-Dade, central Miami-Dade, southern Miami-Dade, and the Keys are no longer in the cone as of the 5 a.m. advisory. Watches and warnings have not changed. We still have a hurricane warning in effect for the northwestern half of the Bahamas, and we have a hurricane watch for parts of Andros Island. Now, the forecast cone has the system moving to the west-northwest. These dimensions probably have changed because the storm is continuing to change as every advisory comes in. But as of the 2 a.m. advisory, hurricane force winds were extending 30 miles out from the center and tropical storm force winds about 115 miles out from the center. But again, with a massive hurricane this strong, these eye walls continue to basically replace themselves, and therefore we see the replacement of those winds that could occur as we go into the next few days. So we'll continue to watch it. But tropical storm watch means that we're expecting winds of 39 miles per hour to 73 miles per hour. Hurricane watch means 74 miles per hour or stronger. And that's really what our friends across parts of the Bahamas, northwestern Bahamas, going to have to deal with, as well as the storm surge going to be a huge issue for our friends there, life-threatening storm surge. So what does a tropical storm force wind possibly do to our property? Well, it looks as though it could bring some roof damage, some tree damage, and definitely flooding concerns. We are going to see a lot of rainfall with this system from time to time, with those outer tropical bands bringing us the heavy rain from time to time. And if we do see some very strong winds, possibly Category 1 winds, anywhere between 74 to 95 miles per hour. That could bring damage to the roof shingles, and large branches could definitely snap off. That's why we said get everything outdoors surrounding your property cleaned up, bring in your outdoor furniture, and be prepared for the uncertainty in the system as it's moving to the west-northwest. We are also still in the cone. I do want to turn your attention to that. Broward is completely in the cone. Northern Miami-Dade is still in the cone. Central and southern Miami-Dade no longer in the cone. So we are going to still be feeling the impacts with this system, but we're going to continue to watch this, because if the trend continues to push the system more north with every single model run, that forecast cone of uncertainty will change as well, meaning that maybe other areas would be lifted out of the cone in the days to come. Still too early to tell, so the imminent threat this morning is still to prepare for the possibility of tropical storm force winds being felt as early as Sunday. Right now, we're also dealing with some moderate to heavy precipitation from Plantation Key all the way down to Marathon. For our temperatures, it's not too terrible out there. We've got the lower 80s, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, 84 degrees, Pompano Beach. So scattered showers today, moving into outer bands, getting closer to us tomorrow as the system moves near the northwestern half of the Bahamas. But remember, it did slow down, so we could be dealing with the effects, outer bands of the system, possibly starting with tropical downpours by Monday and then continuing into Tuesday as it slowly makes that trek to the north. You guys remember, we're also under king tide, so higher than normal tidal levels is going to provide for coastal flooding at least until Sunday morning. Our next high tide will be this morning at 10:01 a.m. for Miami. For you in Fort Lauderdale, 9:50. So you guys, 5M advisory is in. Again, it does bring some better news, but we're not out of the woods yet. The system is a massive, powerful hurricane that will just be off the coast of Florida. We'll have more details on that 5 a.m. forecast, 5 a.m. advisory rather, and I'll have more on the forecast coming up.